much. I very much share the description of today's General Affairs Council. It was done by Madam President of the Council. For me, it was such a comeback after 5 years back to the General Affairs family, and it was very warm and very long welcome because indeed we've been working from early morning until just right now. The rule of law, I think, was very well explained by the presidency. Then the very intense discussion was about the preparation of the European Council, where I'm sure it's not a surprise. We very much discussed the Green Deal, which will be discussed and I believe adopted tomorrow by the Commission as a contribution to the debate among our leaders, where we in the Commission was clearly to underline our ambition to remain the leader in tackling climate change, and where we will present a very comprehensive approach how to really deal with these very urgent and important issues from all aspects. As you know, tomorrow we will be also tabling such a roadmap how to achieve the Green Deal, which would also contain our commitment to present the first ever climate law, which we would like to table in the March of the next year. The discussion was very much about the ambition versus costs, where on the Commission behalf I was highlighting the fact that we have to look at this as a very important investment, which in the end bring the revenue. And I was also highlighting the point, which we'll do also tomorrow, that what would be the cost of non-action, which would be actually horrible, because you can count a lot of things in money, but you cannot put the price on the human lives. And if we just look at the fact that if we wouldn't act, that we would lose 19,000 people to the heat waves alone. This is just one exclamation point which we would have to highlight in the discussions when we are talking about tackling the climate change, because simply if we wouldn't act, we would have to pay the highest possible price in the cost of human lives in Europe and of course across the world. I also underline all the financial instruments and assistance which we are ready to propose, because I understand that the member states have different starting lines, and we have to make sure that no region, no country, no one is left behind, and therefore we'll be working very hard on the Just Transition Fund to make sure that we would offer the fair treatment to all member states and regions to cope with the challenges of more ambitious policy linked with the Green Deal. On MFF, again, this was a very long and detailed discussion. I also would like to thank Finnish presidency for tabling their proposals. I think that also after today's debate, it was quite clear that we would need to work on this very intensely. Hopefully the debate among the leaders on Thursday will push us forward, because what I think we need in this case is not only the good deal with which all member states could live and support it, but we need it on time, because with every month we are losing time, and we are now already at the verge of being extremely tight to start the next financial perspective on time. And if we will not do that, we will just lose a lot of opportunities with using the financial instrument for the benefit of the European citizens. So what I suggested also was that we should consider also to suggest to the new president of the European Council, who will now take over the negotiations, to have a special summit in February, so we can try to clinch the deal there. And this would be the message we would pass on. And I know that the colleagues in the room, and especially incoming presidency, was listening very carefully to this suggestion. So we'll see how the debate on Thursday among the leaders would result in speeding up of the whole process. I also informed the Council about the Commission's work programme, upon which we are working very intensely. We want to table it in January. It will very much be focused on the 6 political priorities of the President Ursula von der Leyen, and also on the strategic agenda tabled by the European Council. I was explaining how I would like to factor in the element of strategic foresight and anticipatory governance in the new programming and planning. And of course, we'll be coming back to this issue with the new presidency, where we will plan the annual program, where we will be working together with the Council and the Parliament on joint declarations on the priorities. And I also informed the Council that we would like to come with the first ever multi-annual programming in the middle of the next year. And of course, the last item on the agenda, thanks to the Finnish presidency, was also information by my colleague, Commissioner for Enlargement, Oliver Varheri, on his take on enlargement, on Western Balkans, where we had also very informative discussion, and where we, on behalf of the Commission, could reiterate how important it is to have credible EU accession perspective for all countries in the Western Balkans, and that we very much stand by our proposal to open accession talks with North Macedonia and Albania next spring, ahead of the Western Balkan Summit in Zagreb. And to conclude, I really would like at first to thank and then to congratulate to our President, to Tutti, for excellent semester of the Finnish presidency, which was not easy for the European Union, for the Commission, and I'm sure for the presidency, but they did it so successfully that they not only managed to have a great presidency, but also to have a new government, the youngest prime minister ever in the world. Congratulations to her, and congratulations to Tutti, because she would continue to be our colleague as a Europe Affairs Minister, but on top of it, she would be responsible for the new big portfolio linked with the state property. So congratulations, and thank you very much for excellent presidency.
Thank you very much, Maroš.
So we are ready to take questions. We start with Lily Payer here in the front, and please use micro and identify yourself and your media, as always.